What if I told you there's a way to get many of the benefits of fasting while still eating food? I know, sounds like a clickbait wellness claim. But here's the thing, there's legitimate science behind it, and it comes from one of the most respected longevity researchers in the field. I'm talking about fasting mimicking diets, or FMD, developed by Dr. Walter Longo at USC. It's not about eating less. It's about eating in a way that keeps your metabolism acting like you're fasting. And after digging through the studies, I have to admit, this isn't the gimmick I actually expected. Today, we're breaking down what FMD actually is, how it stacks up against traditional fasting, and whether it makes sense for you. Because, spoiler, it's not about eating whatever you want. It's about using food to mimic a fasting state on a cellular level. So, what exactly is fasting mimicking diets? Well, FMD is a 5-day eating protocol where you dramatically cut calories, roughly 800 to 1100 per day, using foods that keep your body in a fasted metabolic mode. It was developed by Dr. Longo and his team at the University of Southern California and has been tested in multiple clinical trials. Here's the key difference from just simply eating less. The FMD is specifically designed to be low in protein and sugars, but higher in healthy fats. Day 1 is around 1100 calories. Day 2 through 5 drop closer to about 800 calories. The macronutrient ratio is about 10% protein, 56% fat, and 34% carbs, mostly from plant-based foods. That balance matters because the goal isn't just about calorie restriction. It's to keep nutrient sensors like mTOR, IGF-1, and insulin quiet enough that your body thinks it's fasting. The result is a cascade of the same processes triggered by a water fast. Things like autophagy, lower IGF-1, and cellular repair, while still providing enough nutrients to keep you safe and functional. Think of it as metabolic camouflage. You're eating, but your body's nutrient sensors read fasting. So let's look at what actually happens in these studies and how close this really comes to a true fast. When we look at the 2017 study published in Science Translational Medicine, Longo's team followed 100 participants through 3 monthly cycles of FMD. The results were pretty compelling. Participants lost body fat, lowered blood pressure, and improved blood sugar and inflammation markers like CRP. Even more interesting, they saw significant reductions in IGF-1, a hormone linked to aging and cancer risk when chronically elevated. Animal studies go even further. In mice, periodic FMD cycles activated autophagy and stem cell regeneration, especially in immune cells, and extended lifespan was showing up. After refeeding, animals showed signs of immune regeneration and organ repair. And in a 2024 study in Nature Communications, they found that FMD reduced biological age markers in humans, improving liver and blood biomarkers tied to metabolic health. We can't claim those same longevity effects in humans as seen in rats yet, but the mechanisms are consistent. Lower IGF-1, enhanced cellular cleanup, and better metabolic resilience. So, how does it compare to traditional fasting? In short, FMD delivers many of the same metabolic signals as water fasting, just to a lesser degree. Water fasting still wins for intensity and full autophagy activation since you're consuming 0 calories, but FMD is far easier to complete, safer for most people, and more practical to repeat over a long period of time. In clinical trials, adherence to FMD was much higher than extended water fasts. You can live your normal life, maintain electrolytes, and avoid the fatigue and dizziness that sometimes comes with total fasting. Think of it like this. If a 5-day water fast takes you to 100%, the FMD might get you to about 75 or 80%, with a fraction of the struggle. That might not sound as much, but it's a huge difference when factoring in adherence, especially if your goal is longevity, not endurance. Now, let's be clear what FMD is and what it isn't. It's not a one-time miracle reset. Most of the published studies involve repeating FMD once a month for several months. The benefits come from the cycle itself. Stress your system, then let it rebuild stronger. It's like lifting weights. You don't grow in the gym without recovery. It's also not a free pass to eat junk the rest of the month. The best outcomes, they showed up when FMD is paired with a healthy, plant-based diet. And no, you can't just eat 800 calories of random food and expect the same results. The low protein, high fat composition is what keeps your body in that fasted signal zone. Also, and this should go without saying, if you have medical conditions, take medications, have a history of eating disorders, or you're pregnant or underweight, talk to your doctor before trying any fasting protocol, including FMD. So who is this really for? I'd say FMD makes sense if you're interested in the longevity and cellular repair benefits of fasting, but find multiple day water fast too extreme. It's a middle of the ground tool giving you measurable metabolic improvements with better safety and compliance. If you already practice intermittent fasting, you can use FMD periodically, maybe once a month or every couple of months, and this will create a deeper metabolic reset during your fast. Think of it as hitting advanced mode on your fasting schedule. Now, full disclosure, there's a commercial product called Prolong developed by Longo's company, El Nutro. I have no part of that. I'm not even sharing any links. It's a packaged version of the FMD protocol with all the meals portioned out for you. So, Dr. Longo has equity and interest in El Nutro, which is disclosed in all of the research papers. That doesn't invalidate the science, but it's definitely worth knowing. And I wanted to let you guys know, especially since the clinical trials used all of these Prolong kits. But you do not need to use the kits. You can actually replicate FMD yourself with whole plant-based foods. If you're disciplined with tracking calories and macros, you can make it work. Here's what a DIY FMD would actually look like for you guys. Day one you would aim for about 1,100 calories, and you would make the meal portions of 10% protein, 56% fat, and 34% carbs for the day. Think avocados, nuts, olives, vegetable soup, and small portions of complex carbs like sweet potatoes or quinoa. On day 2 through 5, you drop roughly to about 800 calories with the same macro ratio. Your meals might look like a small bowl of vegetable soup with olive oil, a handful of nuts, herbal teas, and maybe some olives or nut butter. The goal is nutrient dense, but calorie light. Focus on plant-based fats, avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and this will keep you satiated without spiking your insulin. Avoid animal protein, refined carbs, and anything high in sugar when you're doing this protocol. Keep it simple: soups, healthy fats, low glycemic vegetables, and plenty of water. You'll need to track your macros carefully, at least for the first cycle, to make sure you're hitting those ratios. Apps do come in handy. You have MyFitnessPal, you have Chronometer. These just make it easier. Once you've done it that first time, though, you'll have a template to repeat it down the line. Personally, I think FMD works best as a cycle, not a lifestyle. Fasting, mimicry for a few days, then recovery and rebuilding. That alternation between restriction and refeeding seems to drive the biggest benefits. The research suggests doing it once a month or once every couple of months, depending on your health goals and metabolic status. So here's the bottom line. The fasting mimicking diet is a legitimate research-backed way to capture many of the same metabolic and longevity benefits as fasting while still eating. It's not a hack, and it's not fasting while eating in the mimicking sense. It's a protocol built on how your body's nutrient sensors read food. Is it better than water fasting? Not necessarily, but is it easier, safer, and more sustainable for most people? Absolutely. Like every nutritional approach, it's just a tool, but it's one worth knowing about and understanding. If you're curious about fasting's deeper benefits, but want something more manageable for you, FMD might be the best entry point. This is David. If you receive some valuable information from this video, do the channel a favor and hit the like button. And I'll see you guys in the next one.